So here's the tips. Number one is just relax. A lot of times when you're going to teach, you just get so tensed up into like, I got to learn this format. I got to learn what I'm doing. And I just don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, like have a piece of paper handy and thank you. And write down these notes because maybe this will help you and you can refer back. But first, basically, you just need to relax. A lot of times we're just like so like nervous about what the class is going to end up looking like and what do I look like and just breathe. Okay. First rule. Number two, I've written all these down just in case you wonder where my eyes are going. Watch your one-on-one video. So for CIZE Live specifically, you get a one-on-one video that you can learn the moves first. Like don't do anything else. Don't even play the music yet. Like just watch that video. Okay, maybe play the music because it helps you like get into it, right? Like play your music download that you get or your music DVD, whatever. I know for CIZE Live, it's a download now, but for other, if you're trying to relate it to other things, then maybe it's your CD. Okay. So first thing, relax. Number two is watch that one-on-one first. Okay. And maybe play the music. Okay. Number three is write out your own notes. What you've learned from the one-on-one video, like write out your own notes of like what she was talking about. Like, okay, your first part is like a CIZE bounce. I'm going to write CIZE bounce down and maybe give it a little description of what it is. Like having things in your own words really helps you to like connect it. And then it kind of becomes yours when you kind of start writing it out. So that is my third tip is write out your own notes. My fourth tip is then watch the class video. So you're going to see a variety of different styles in that class video. So you might see the lead person on the mic doing one thing and then the other two kind of giving it their own little flair or their own little way. And when you watch the class as a whole, then you can kind of go, oh, okay, I get it. I kind of really see what this is like. And really mentally take note of like how they're breaking it down. Like what are the steps that person's doing? And then stop, pause it, and take some notes. So this is like part of tip 4 is like watch the class, but you also need to take notes on it. So I actually don't do it with them. I actually sit and watch the video. And when I'm like, wait, okay, she did that how many times? Okay, she did the CIZE bounce for 32 counts. I'm gonna write that down. So when she walked up and back, like how many times did she walk up and back? I don't wanna know that it's 64 counts. I wanna know that it's like four counts up and 4 back. 4 step taps up with a march back for 8. You do that 4 times. That's what I want to know. I know hearts for that, right? Because that is easier for me to figure out than counting all those 32 counts. Holy cow, no, don't do it. Because in dance, there's all these 32 counts going everywhere. And then it's 64 and it's 2 32s of this and that. And like that will hurt your brain. Like don't do that. Okay, seriously, you'll like get a migraine just thinking about it is for sure. Okay, so it's easier totally to like figure out how many times am I going to do this. Like totally tell me, oh man, on low battery, gotta better hurry up. Okay, so that was my number 4. So number 5 is don't freak out because as you're watching this and you're taking notes and you're stop, start, and you're writing things down. And as you finish that final part of the video, you're like, oh, I can't teach this now. Oh, my heart, where's the chocolate? You know, like seriously. Like you just need to stop and don't freak out and go do something else. Okay, so this is how I learn it. Like number 1, you got to relax. Number 2, watch the one-on-one video. I'm going through it. Number 3, write out your own notes on that part only. Number 4 is watch the class video and take more notes. Like sit down. Do not do it. You know you're going to want to do it. Do not do it. You just take some notes. Okay. Number 5 tip is don't freak out. Mercy. Get the chocolate, come back, and then do it later. Like, take a break. Take the break. Like, your mind is an overload. Like, don't keep going, all right? Come back to it. So now, my next tip, number 6, you're welcome. My next tip is forget about the 32 count. Wait, what? Did she say forget about the 32 count? That's what it says on the notes. It says 32 count. Like, I know it does, but don't get it in your brain. Okay, for the warm-up, it'll say like 32 counts of CIZE bounce and 32 counts of march. Yeah, do that. It's like super easy. Duh, right? You learned that probably at your training already. If you're with me, you did. Okay, so just know that it's not that big of a deal. Don't think about the 32. Just think about what you're trying to do. So I say I wrote this down. Don't be perfect on the 32 count. Like, you may have to take more time with a particular section. Like, your class is not quite getting it. Thanks for the love. Your class isn't getting it, so you're constantly, like, especially there's one part in CIZE Live round 1 where we're doing arm things and the feet have to go at the same time and you're leaning. Oh my gosh, 3 things at once. So your class might have to, you know, take some time with that, a little longer than maybe what it says in the details of how to break it down. Maybe instead of what it says is 32 counts of this and then 32 counts you move on, like maybe you can't move on yet, right? And that's okay. So give yourself that okay, like, okay, what if my class can't get this? What's my other options? So you got to think of your options before you get to your class. Write that down. Like, I'm serious, write that down right now. Write down your other options before you get to class, or mentally note it if you're like really that good. Like, mentally note what you should do as options if that doesn't work for you. Okay, my number 7 tip is don't worry if you don't get through it all in your class. I know, but I've been telling my participants, you know, and those people that are going to go out there and share CIZE Live with people, on round 1, I would say probably your first class, you might not get to the last 16 counts. What? Don't freak out. Don't freak out. And if you've never understood what a 32 count musical phrase is, and like, oh my God, Google it right now. And maybe I'll talk about that next, what a 32 count is. And like, it's song beats. It's like the rhythm. It's the musical phrase, if you will. Okay. It's a musical phrase, and I will do one for you. I will do a video about that. Okay? Okay, hearts for that. Okay. So, what you need to do is not, don't worry if you don't get through it all. That was my number 7. Don't worry if you don't get through it all, and chances are good that you won't. And so if you don't, go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't get, like, what they don't know in your class won't kill them. And they don't know, so you're the boss. Okay? Number 8 on my list. When all else fails for CIZE Live, bounce. It's the CIZE bounce. Just CIZE bounce. If you don't know where you're at in the whole thing routine, you're like, I'm just gonna bounce. I'm CIZE bouncing. Or just get that march going again and just let them have fun again. Go, okay, and then something will spark in your brain, and then you'll remember your choreography, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing next. Or go from the top. Let's do it again from the top. And then once you get that from the top, and then you're like, oh, this is the next part, and it'll come. It will manifest in your brain. You're gonna be like, oh, there you are in my brain. Here it comes. It was in the back. Now it's in the front. Okay, so my next tip, number 9. I know there's a lot of tips, but man, teaching dance, right? Okay, number 9 tip is that I'm reading this one. You need to, whoa, I just dropped it. Don't worry. Things are all good here. You need to make, you may need to break up the parts even more than in the video. What? Yeah, there's parts in the CIZE Live that they'll show you how to break it down, but then that might not be enough for your participants. It depends on how new your class is. For my class, they pretty much get it, but there are times when they do get it, but they need like, can you show me that in like an extra slow-mo? So then you're like, okay, I got an extra. And there might be parts in CIZE Live where there's 2 parts to it, but you might need to break it into 3, if you know what I mean. And I showed that to some of my participants yesterday, especially. There was a couple of pieces that you could separate them in 4 count, but I did a 4 count, 2 count, 2 count. Does that make sense? Everybody say yes. Everybody give me hearts if it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, 1 heart. Thank you. And yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, more hearts flowing. Thanks. Making sure you're all with me. Focus. Okay, so and my top last tip is seriously connect with your master trainer. Videotape yourself. That would probably be a bonus, I guess. Okay, so connecting with your master trainer would probably be number 11. You definitely need to videotape yourself before you go out and teach a class. And that comes to say, like, even if you've taught, like, say you taught round 1 and you're going to teach round 2, videotape yourself again to see if you've got round 2. You think you're bad A, right? And you think you're pretty good. And then you videotape yourself and you're like, I didn't do that. That was me. You're on the video. It was you. You can do it. I will be posting this to YouTube for show. Thank you for that. It'd be awesome. Okay, so this is automatically going to save to my phone. So yes, it's going to be on YouTube. So hi YouTubers, if you're watching, Thanks for being on and watching my video. You can click like if you want. Okay, so let me go back over my top 10 tips again for you. My number 1 is you need to relax. Number 2, watch the one-on-one video and take notes on it. Number 3 is write out your own notes, right? Even if you've taken those notes, like they might not make sense. You've got to do it again. Number 4 is watch the class video, the whole class, and take notes on that. Stop, start, stop, start. You're going to need to take some time. It's practice, right? Number 5 is don't freak out. You'll be fine. Number 6 is forget about the 32 count and just do the class as you can and as you may need to break it down, and don't try and be perfect. Number 7 is don't worry if you don't get through it all. Number 8, when all else fails, bounce or march for CIZE Live. Number 9 is that you might need to break down the parts even more if you need to. You're welcome. I see you. And then for number 10 is to videotape yourself to make sure you've got everything nice and good. And you might take a few videos, just saying. And then number 11, bonus, connect with your master trainer and ask them some questions if you need help. And you can even show them your video and ask for help there too. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so glad that you guys were on, and I hope you share this with a friend that is in need. See you guys. Thanks.